What's up, Carnival Spirits? It's TJ, and I'm back on YouTube today, this Sunday, for a very special live stream. And I've got a special guest for you. I'd like you guys to welcome the one and only Coxy the Legend from across the pond over in the UK. What up, Ninja?
How's it going, man?
It's going good. I'm out of work. I got tomorrow off, so that means I can stay up late tonight, and I'm going to see Justice League. And I'm really excited for it because I've just boned up on all the, Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, Wonder Woman, and even Suicide Squad with that Ben Affleck cameo. So I have, I'm like ready for the next chapter, and I've heard good things. I've heard a lot of good things.
Nice. Well, see, I'm off tomorrow because I'm turning 30 tomorrow. It's my 30th birthday tomorrow.
No shit. Tomorrow is your 30th birthday. Well, happy fucking early birthday, Ninja. Holy shit.
Thanks, man.
I did actually notice that you were doing some sort of pub crawl last night.
Yeah, that was part of it because I had to see out my 20s in a way that felt right. So we did a pub crawl.
All right. So what how many pubs are involved in a pub crawl out in the UK?
Well, we based this off the Simon Pegg film The World's End. But
yeah, with Simon Pegg, right?
Yeah, we did like a Blackpool version though. So we picked out 12 pubs in like our town centre and said, right, we're going to do these. So. And it just sort of culminated at this pub we go, well, it's like a bar we go to called Scrooge's, and we sort of finished there and then sort of called it a night about midnight-ish. It was like 12 solid hours. We did like 1 pint per pub.
Oh, man. Pub crawls are fun. I've only ever done it once, and I don't need to crawl pub to pub to get shit. But it is fun.
It was very fun, though. I paid for it this morning when I went to do a charity like Santa Dash. It was like a 2 mile. Well, it was meant you could run it or walk it, so I walked it. So just to try.
Well, that's the shit, and for your 30th birthday, making a big celebration out of it and having fun with your friend. That's what it's all about. On my 30th birthday, my friends tried to throw me a surprise party, and it was an exclusive rap show where they actually invited rappers from out of state, like friends of ours that traveled long distances, and a whole bunch of my friends all put on a show in like a private club of my ex-girlfriends. So and then I got to like headline my own birthday party and rap and I was shit faced and I was high as hell, and is like just not the ideal conditions. I'm like Jim Morrison up there in my bad years.
Yeah.
And I'm turning 30. Like Jim Morrison didn't even make it to 30, guys. You know what I mean? He was dead by what, 27, 28. I'm celebrating my 30th birthday, and I'm partying like a rock star. Okay, and there's footage of that performance. I have not even watched it. I don't want to see that shit. but you know my shit, man. You've heard Dear Joe and Joey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did that come across your I don't know, your computer? Was it MySpace?
It was going through MySpace on a group or something, or I think I possibly added you or something.
I don't know. Which group was it?
There was one of the groups on there, like the old MySpace group, some sort of Juggalo-related group or something possibly. Or it was that, I think I added you because I saw other people adding you. And so I looked, but the whole thing I was going through looking for music. And I'd always go in the player and see what they had. See if there's any new stuff. And then I found yours. I was like, oh, he's doing his own shit. And there's a song called Dear Joe and Joey. I was like, let's give that a listen. And it just sort of went from there. I was like, this track's awesome.
So that had to have been like 10 years ago. And at that point, it was 10 years ago, bro, because it's 2017 And I had only put Dear Joe and Joey on MySpace in like 2006, 2005, maybe it was 2005. And
Yeah.
so that's 12 fucking years ago. That's how. So it had to have been sometime in that window, because by 2009 everybody had jumped ship and crossed over to Facebook.
I want to say it was probably around 2006. So I'm sure I was in college when I heard it, because I remember I had it on my MP3 player and everything at the time, because I didn't have an iPod.
Yeah, I didn't have an iPod back then. I didn't either.
I remember hearing it I heard it on loop constantly, and it was one of those songs I was like, it's like this guy's done a song about ICPs. Like it was like, for me at the time, it was like, this is something special, almost.
To me, it's very special, because it's an actual open letter. Like I'm saying this shit, from the heart, and I put it out there knowing damn well that the only people that would get it were Juggalos.
Yeah.
So I didn't care if people hated it, or if they confused by it, or if they didn't like it, like, oh, I don't like it, I don't like the beat, it didn't matter what your critique of it was, because it's personal, So I do love how it's brought me a lot of connections from a lot of dope Juggalos from all over the place. You might be the most far away ninja that I've met because of that song.
That's it. Yeah, it's like I also remember with that, for some reason I was trying for ages to learn the lyrics, and I was always trying to Google it and like find the lyrics, and you didn't have the lyrics up anywhere.
I do, though. So
you do now, but before
I do now. Okay, but not then.
And I actually went through one night. I was sat at home. I had like nothing to do. It was like all my friends were out of town and stuff. So just line by line, listening to each line about 4 or 5 times and writing it down to see how near enough to the correctly I was. And about, I think, a month or so later, you actually put the lyrics up, like, from popular demand. Due to popular demand, here's the actual lyrics to the song or something, with a reason why this is there or something.
I've done that to ICP songs. I used to try to figure out what they were saying in the early albums back in the day. But no, the Dear Joe and Joey lyrics have been up on blog. What's it called? Blogger.
Yeah.
Blogger. I have a BstMstR blogger page, and there's a post that has not just the lyrics, but also kind of like each line of the song, there's another line underneath it that's like an explanation of that line.
Yeah, that's the one. So I remember reading it, and I was like, this makes more sense now.
I put a lot of I basically explained everything, like even the obvious stuff. Like if it was a reference to a song, I would say this is a reference to this song. And if you're a Juggalo, you fucking know that already. But the whole point is to like spell it out for everybody else. But yeah, there's also lyrics videos on YouTube now, on BstMstR YouTube. But so you're turning 30 right now, okay? So how long have you been listening to ICP, man?
Right, let's see. I started I heard them first in 1999, and as for most people, it was through wrestling. Because I had, I think I saw them on WCW Nitro at the time. That was around the time that Vampiro and that came in. And they brought out an album called WCW Mayhem the Music. I did have it here somewhere. I think it's downstairs, though. And on that, there's Take It, but it's like an edited version. And I always sort of listened to it, and I was like, I quite like this song. I want to hear more of these guys. And my brother used to get like wrestling magazines, and there's one of the magazines, it was advertising Amazing Jekyll Brothers. And that was like January 99, I want to say, because we went to Chicago. We flew up to see some friends in Chicago in February 99, and I was like going every record store I could find to try and find Jekyll Brothers, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I was a bit devastated.
Why? Because it wasn't out yet, or because they didn't have them?
I don't think they had them. I was like just looking everywhere for like any sort of ICP album I could find. and that nowhere seemed to have it in. So I was a bit gutted at the time because like our stores here, they were classed as either imports, so they just didn't have it. And if you asked them to search for it, they'd be like, no, we've never heard of that.
Gonna have to ask those Chi-Town Juggalos what's up with that. You see, I always was under the impression that Chicago had a pretty big fan, you know.
Yeah, this is going back, I say, 18 years, so hopefully times have changed.
I don't know. I don't know.
But then it was only sort of through wrestling that I sort of heard it. Because I would have been 11, 12-ish that time, and then I didn't hear an album from them until like 2002 when the Wraith came out. And a friend of my parents sort of.
Not much came out in between Jekyll Brothers and the Wraith, you know, a few things, notably Dark Lotus, but some of that stuff is like a little bit more. You have to go to shows sometimes. Like Juggalos had to get access to the merch booths at the shows, you know, which is something you're not going to get too much if you're living in another country.
Yeah, well, that's it. But like my parents at the time had a friend who was like, you could like find any album online and he'd like burn it, he'd acquire it via means, as we always say on the pod. And like, so I said to him, "Oh, can you get me these ICP albums?" Like, I'll have a look for them. I was like, they might be hard to find. And then like the week later he comes back, he's like, "I got this one for you," and it was the Wraith. And so I started listening to it, and I was like, "Okay, this is what I've been missing so far." Like I'd heard about it at the time and stuff, but never got a chance to listen to anything else properly.
So you're saying that your first exposure to ICP musically was "Take It" from the WCW wrestling, like that theme song they were using? Yeah. I got that compilation too. I bought it just for that song.
And see, I bought it for Metallica on there because I was really into Metallica at the time, because it had the Seek and Destroy from Woodstock that Sting was using. And then I was like, just looking, I was like, Clown Posse. Okay, and I put it on, so I wasn't digging it at first. And I was like, went back and listened to it. I was like, okay, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah, there's other instances where ICPs kind of like had like their songs snuck into like a little compilation CD. I remember Newbury Comics, you know, record stores around here. They had like these little CDs, these little promotional mixes, you know, Newbury Comics, whatever, and ICP was on there. You know, I think they had Chicken Hunting on it, and there was some other big names on there. I think the Money Bosstones, Weezer, you know, just some mainstream shits, but so after Take It, then you hear the Wraith.
Yeah. And so that was what would have been. I got it. It would have been early 2003. I want to say it was in November 2002. It came out, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Off the top of my head.
Yeah, it came out the day after my birthday, actually. When that dropped, I turned 24. You know, I was young back then, and it was exciting as fuck. You know, that because that's something. If you didn't listen to the music before the Wraith, the 6 Jokers card was something that they talked about. Every album had this like countdown where it showed 6 boxes with the question marks, and then each album was being filled in. You know, so when I started listening, they were on the 3rd album. So it was like, ooh, we're halfway there. I'm like, all right, I'm not late to the party at all. And then Great Malenko drops, and it's like, ooh, 2 more. You know, Jekyll Brothers, the penultimate Joker's card, so we think. And then when they dropped the Wraith, you know, it was like a what moment when they're like, it's going to be a double album, and it's, you know, Shangri-La and Hell's Pit. So we should have seen that coming though, because you know everything about their albums, you know, that progression from having I guess it started 20 years ago with the Great Malenko when they had different colors, right? You got the red Malenko, the green Malenko, the purple Malenko. And then after that, you know, there's just like the Jekyll brothers, which is, you know, so there's Jake and Jack Jekyll. And so there's two different images for one Joker's card. And that means they're selling two different albums, two different album covers. And that's it. The cover is the only thing different. You know, everything in the booklet's the same. It's just the fucking cover and the image on the CD. That's it. Everything else is the same. The music is exactly the same. And, you know, Juggalos were buying two of the same album just to get the cover. And, you know, so then obviously the next step is to release, you know, their next album is actually a two-parter. One part, and then the next part was supposed to come out a year later. It ended up taking a little more than a year, but you know, Hell's Pit
that's
was
the thing though with like when they did like Mighty Death Pop and they released that one had like 3 different versions and they did the ultimate one and
right. Don't forget about Bang Pow Boom. You know, 3 different.
That was it. Sorry, Bang Pow Boom, but Nuclear Edition.
No, but you're not wrong. Mighty Death Pop was red, black, and white. And not only was it 3 different, you know, colors, but each album came with another album, right? Yeah. You had the hour-long Ho Flow, and you had all the cover tunes, Smothered, Covered, and Chunked. And then you had Mikey Clark's Extra Pop Emporium, which to me is like the dopest out of all 4 albums or 6 albums. Fucking the Extra Pop Emporium had some deep cuts, man. That's such a great CD. But I digress.
So yeah, it was. I remember listening to the Wraith, but for some reason I don't know why I always put off listening to the Unveiling. I don't know if it's because it was the name of the track or something. It was like because it was always the whole thing of like, well, there's 6 cards. I was like, but I don't want it to end, so I put off listening to it for about 6 months roughly. So I get to 16 and stop.
So you actually just like stopped yourself before the last track and you didn't listen to it for 6 months?
Yeah. It was I was young.
No, that's fascinating to me. All right, I'll tell you this. One of my homies, his ex-girlfriend, you know, she was not a juggalo when they got together, but she was open-minded and she liked the music. And so she was listening to the music a lot and she was attending shows. And, you know, this is often how people kind of like fall into repping Juggalo is that they meet other Juggalos and it's kind of like, oh, let me check this out. And they kind of baby step their way into being obsessed like the rest of us. And, but this chick, all right. So anyway, long story short, this chick is just kind of like, you know, soaking it all in. And I want to say this was 10 years ago. Okay. So 2007, okay. And she told me, and I'm not trying to put my homie on blast because she's a cool Juggalo now, you know what I mean? But she was just getting into it around 2007, you know, bless her heart. And she told me, she's like, I've listened to all the albums, all the CDs. I've heard them all except Hell's Pit. I'm like, what? And you're like, I haven't listened to Hell's Pit yet. And I'm like, why not? And she's like, well, you know, because I don't know if I want to, like, because I mean, she really was feeling the Wraith and the positive vibes that you get from ICP's music. And, you know, I guess the whole idea of them marketing it as, you know, the most wicked shit that they've ever put out, like, and you know, you all know the story, like, the word Juggalo is not mentioned once in this album because Jay doesn't want to see a single Juggalo in Hell's Pit. You know what I mean? And so for her, she was like, do I really need to hear that album? I mean, it's got no Juggalo love in it. It's supposed to be the wickedest shit. Like, I don't know and I'm like, look, you need to just hear it. It doesn't matter. And this is the same mentality I had about Dear Joe and Joey. Like, oh, you're a Juggalo? You should listen to this. Yeah. I'm not telling you to like it or not, but you should hear it, you know, because it's the yin to the yang. You can't have one without the other. And all those diamond rain and positive vibes of the Wraith has a shadow, and Hell's Pit, and you know, all the tracks like very specifically depict some morbid shit and some warped mind frames and some depressing and, you know, just real, like it's definitely lyrically a sick album, you know what I mean? And
oh yeah, definitely.
so I said, look, I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know, to be a juggalo and to be like, oh, but I'm not going to listen to that ICP album, said no juggalo. So I just don't get that. But I explained to her, I'm like, you should just hear it. You should just listen to it. You might like it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And then, you know, she did, and she was like, oh, TJ, thank you so much. You know what I mean? Like, so she did it to herself. She just put it off. She was scared. Okay, I'll stop talking about my homie who I have nothing but respect for, but that was a thing where she didn't want to listen to Hell's Pit, and I was like, well, no, you gotta listen to it, even if you don't like it. I mean, shit, how many fucking people out there are like, oh, I love this band, but that album, fuck that album. But everything else is cool. But fuck that album. Like, can you think of any album? Like, is there a Metallica album that you're like, no, sorry, boys?
Yeah, Saint Anger.
Really? All right.
That seems to be the one everyone's always says, oh yeah, they were doing well, and then they brought out Saint Anger. I was like, yeah, I see your point. And then they sort of, everyone's like, they're doing themselves, they were Death Magnetic. I'm like, yeah, I see your point. So
I remember they got a lot of flack for those Loads and Reload albums back in the day.
They did, but like I personally think they're like not bad albums. Like it's in terms of the actual the songs they put out and stuff, they're actually really good.
Do you listen to Megadeth?
No, not really.
Well, they got a similar situation, not because they're tied to Metallica with Dave Mustaine having written songs from their first album. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying that they had a pretty good reputation for being metal until like the mid 90s, when they started getting a little bit more eclectic, and where maybe the fan base in general had a reaction to it that was less than, like, some hardcore fans were like, no, fuck that. That's soft. That's not my Megadeth, you know, or whatever, however they talked back in the 90s. That doesn't seem like that was a 90s impression. But no, that's an American joke, because that's what, like, some Americans are, that's not my president. Like, but yeah, so Megadeth, you know, they put out Cryptic Writings and then Risk, and it was like they were slowly changing their style of music. And I, for one, love those albums. Think they're the best albums they've ever put out. Musically, to me, they just sound amazing. Are they heavier? Are they as metal? Are they as fast? No, they're none of those things. But I'm not holding them to that standard like a diehard fan of that old shit was. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I look at ICP. A lot of people get really mad at ICP for not being as good as they were when they were teenagers or in their 20s. I look at them and I'm like, no, I'm not trying to hold you to a standard of when you were, you know, younger. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's like listening to old Johnny Cash and judging him because he's old, you know. But he's still making music, bless his heart. Like, right up until he died, he was dropping albums.
Yeah,
on American series.
It'd be like saying he did Ring of Fire, and it's like, yeah, I love it, and then he covers Hurt, and everyone's like, no, fuck him, I'm done.
Oh, when Johnny Cash covered 9 Inch Nails,
it was amazing.
That was a rejuvenation of 9 Inch Nails' career right there. I forgot all about him until Johnny Cash reminded me.
Wow. But it's like with ICP, it's like they've done softer stuff, but at the same time, it's like they're getting older. And like we had 2 comedians over here that did Bottom. Rick Mayall and Adrian Edmondson. I don't know how well it took off in America. And they did that, and then they were doing the live shows, and then they thought, we're going to go back and do another show. But like, well, we're two guys in our 60s telling knob jokes. It's not really funny anymore for us. It's just cringeworthy. So we're not going to do it because we're too old. So I think it's that sort of adapt to survive mentality or methodology. Sort of like if we change, we'll be able to. Because it's not just about pleasing old fans; it's drawing new fans in, which is what I think some people forget.
Well, let's get back on track, and I want to ask you, like, you finally listened to the unveiling, and in that time, in that 6 months time that you denied yourself the punchline of a whole legacy of albums. Were you listening to other ICP, or was it just Wraith? Did you hear any of the older stuff, or?
Well, like I had the Wraith, and then I was sort of learning about the discography and discography even.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, they did these albums that lead up to this. I was like, right, I need to get a hold of these somehow. So I spoke to my mum's friend again, and he managed to get a hold of those albums for me via means. And,
I'm imagining a black van, someone getting a fucking sack, a potato sack thrown over their head. Show me the ICP CDs now.
It wasn't so much like that as it was, if I can find it, more sort of in that style.
Ah, yes, CDRs, burnt discs. I've got lots and lots of reels, stacks of those bad boys in the closet.
Yeah. So I was acquiring those as he was doing like a pound a disc at the time, and because to me I didn't realise it was sort of like an order to them. So I remember I think I went from having the Wraith, and I was like, oh, I'll try this Great Malenko CD out. Because it got mentioned it was like mentioned in like a wrestling magazine again of like, oh, it was named after Boris Malenko or something. So I was like, okay, it might be wrestling references. So I got that one next, and I think after that I got Amazing Jekyll Brothers after that. So it's like 6, 4, 5. It was only like later on, like I think a couple of years later, when I actually started. I managed to get a whole like Riddlebox and Carnival Carnage, listen to those, but that was like through eBay. I had to get them on the cheap through eBay.
All right. So the internet to the rescue, absolutely. So in this time, I mean, all the way up to today, we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the Great Malenko, and I tell you, man, I feel sentimental about it because it marks the 20th anniversary of me being a Juggalo, going to clown shows. I've been going to clown shows at least once a year, if not 2, 3, 4 times, gatherings or, special events, and sometimes out of state or sometimes multiple states, right? Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, New York, Pennsylvania. I've gone down to Florida. Anyways, my point is that I'm a little spoiled. All right. I know it. I know I'm spoiled. Like, I know that I'm lucky as fuck to have ICP living on my continent, and I'm in their tour circuit. And where I live, Juggalos throw down so hard. We have a reputation for being one of the most loyal and ruckus, crowds, out of all the cities. Worcester's been, known for being nuts and crazy. And I think it's because all the Juggalos in New England all kind of come to that one spot, because there's not a whole lot of other areas that are big enough to host the shows. So anyways,
I remember hearing somewhere, it was always like, I think it was Worcester or something, it's always like, it always sells out here. Like, really well,
pretty much, or close to it. And it was around the Hell's Pit era that shows started to sell out like that. I should say a little earlier than Hell's Pit, but I'm saying in the early 2000s. My first ICP show in '97, I just got the ticket stub. It was $15, and we bought it like at the door. And I didn't have a problem getting into a show having to buy a ticket ahead of time and worrying about it selling out until until the Wicked Wonka tour. And so we got Shanzi with the 350 super chat. Says, glad this ninja finally got to see the clowns. Yeah, and that's what I'm getting at, man. I'm spoiled. I see ICP all the time. You finally got to see ICP this year on the Spray the UK tour.
The Spray the UK tour, yes.
I pulled up the flyer, and I wanted to know, which show did you attend?
We did the Birmingham show on the 17th of November.
Oh, this flyer must be outdated because it says that the 17th was Manchester and Birmingham was the 18th, or?
Yeah, this is the, if I don't know how closely you were following it, this sort of goes to controversy of part of the tour where...
Yeah, I know. This is an early flyer. Yeah. I know. The flyer changed a couple times. So, yeah, how did that work for you? I mean, really, this is the meat and potatoes of our talk here. I want to know, what was it like seeing ICP for the first time ever? Your take. We all want to know, like from the actual performance to getting there. I don't know. Just what do you think? Like, what?
It was well, sort of to go back on myself here. It was like I was in work one day, sort of midday on my lunch, and the guy messaged me. Like a guy I sort of know from past gigs and stuff. Like, we had Zug Island were over here last September. So I got to see them live in Walsall, and then about February I got a message like from this Songkick app on iPhone or something. It's like, oh, ICP announced a tour, and so now I'm getting 4 or 5 messages in one go going, is this real? Is it fake? Is it real? I was like, I'm going with it's real from the look of things. Like,
I think that was when it wasn't it Mushroomhead that posted like a picture?
Possibly, yeah.
I feel like Mushroomhead dropped this flyer for some UK dates, and ICP's name was on it, and that's how all the Juggalos found out, because ICP didn't post it first. It was Mushroomhead. But anyways.
Yeah, so I got this message, and I'm sort of ringing like my brother, and there might be a tour, and this little question was, are you getting tickets? It's like, well, yes, of course. Like, so of course he announced Manchester. That was like what they call the O2, one of the O2 venues, which is like the O2 Ritz, which is perfect for us. It's like, yeah, sweet, we'll do that, and then we'll do Birmingham as well on the Saturday.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's how I'm seeing the pattern here: pub crawls, and then multiple clown shows back to back. Oh, I love it.
And unfortunately, we only ended up seeing the once, unfortunately, because of the way the whole shenanigans with the tour.
Yeah, man, that is just it's just one thing after another, They're resilient as fuck. I'm glad that you were able to at least see them once. That would have been a pity if
there was nights I lost sleep where I was there was no announcements or anything, but I'll cover that in a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was only, I think, 3 days before they were due to start the tour. They'd already set off to come over here and stuff.
Right.
And the venue on like the Saturday morning before it was due to start on the Monday, I want to say, and the Saturday, the O2, I think it's like the Academy Music Group or something, put up a post saying we are pulling ICP shows from all our venues. They are not welcome at our venues, or something like that. And so everyone's sort of like, well, that's fucked us. Like, there were people like they booked hotels, they booked trains, they booked coaches. Like, they bought the tickets and they were like struggling for money. It's like, oh well, you get a refund, but it might be in 3 to 4 weeks.
So you guys immediately took to the streets, right, and started tipping cars, burning trash barrels. I mean, please tell me that UK Juggalos did at least a little bit of civil disobedience and destroyed the city or something, man.
I wish I could say that we did, but we're too British. Like we enjoy queuing. Like, we just sort of took to social media and complained about it.
Oh, so you are no different than us Americans. That's exactly what the fuck we do too.
Like no cars were tipped that I know of, but
all right.
It's like so so I was like messaging Kevin Gill. I was like, do you know what's happening or anything? He's like, there's an announcement coming, just hold tight. Because they'd announced like there was people who'd gone to the show on Monday was meant to be in Sheffield, I want to say. Well, no, it meant to be in Leeds, and it got moved to Sheffield. So people had turned up to Leeds, and then it was like there was a note on the door saying, "Well, it's postponed until next week."
Oh, I thought the note on the door was going to go, all right, the concert is actually at this address. And then everybody goes over to that address. And then there's a note on that door and it says, all right, the next address is, and you're on a fucking obstacle course to get to the fucking venue.
No, it wasn't that, what's the word? Trail-tastic, shall we say. It was literally a case of like an hour before the doors were due to open, like a note just went up saying postponed until next week in Sheffield.
What a bummer.
But then the night after that was in Newcastle, and that show went ahead. But there was rumours flying around that there was one of the flight cases that they needed with merch, or their equipment in was lost or something, or it was held in customs.
Right. Lost merch.
Well, as lost.
Right.
Sort of, it was detained or something, and lost and detained or searched and seized. There was something that happened with it. Eventually, I think
confiscated. Jack move. Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So they did the show in Newcastle, and then they went on to Glasgow, I want to say.
Yeah, I think Glasgow and then Bristol. In Manchester. I don't know. That's what this old outdated flyer says.
Yeah, they did like Glasgow. They did Newcastle, Glasgow, Bristol. But like we were hearing stuff because I went to the show on the Friday, which it got moved to Birmingham, but this was announced on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So like Tuesday night, like I got about an hour's sleep, so I'm just sort of, they need to announce something because this is the only date I can do. Like there was no Manchester date announced or anything. Like is Manchester going ahead?
The name of the venue was the Asylum. Was that correct?
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah,
which is quite fitting, really.
is that place as cool as it sounds, or I mean,
it was only quite small because the original venue they had was 1,300, and then they had to scale it down to 650.
I'm sorry, but I would much rather go see the Wiki Clowns at the Asylum.
Yeah.
Than pretty much any fucking venue. Like, just call it the fucking Asylum. That's awesome.
About that, the VIP, because I'd paid, we'd done like we were going for VIP because like, well, I need to meet them or something. Like, I can't not meet them when they're here. Like, we don't know when they're coming back again.
Never. You're not allowed to have You're not allowed to have ICP again, man. Don't be greedy, all right? Don't be greedy. I'm spoiled, but I'm not stupid, all right? I love my Wiki Clowns, and I'm really not willing to give them up that easily, all right? I'm not really good at the sharing type, but maybe you can have them for another short tour, in 2020.
Yeah, it needs to happen again. But so we were hearing stuff about the VIP, like I think the Newcastle show, there's only like 2 guys did VIP. I think Glasgow, there was like 12 people did it, and then like hearing more for Bristol, and then so the Wednesday they announced tickets for Birmingham, but it's like you'll need to buy new tickets. Your old tickets aren't valid on it. It's the same date, but it's like they're not valid for this venue. You need fresh tickets. So I got that sorted, and then, but we had a hotel still in Manchester, because it's like we couldn't, if we cancelled it, we'd have lost the money and the room sort of thing, and we couldn't sell it on or transfer it or anything. So I was like, well, we'll stay in Manchester, but we'll travel to Birmingham. So we found a quick way.
So you turned a lemon into the Hangover.
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
So we were sort of, my brother, who's like the sort of travel aficionado wizard that he is, managed to find us like a cheap train or something to Birmingham. So he's like, well, if we get this train, we can do this, and we can go via this way.
I mean, it's a fucking adventure, you know. I tell you, some of my most favorite times is the struggle to get to a gathering. I mean, it's just like a classic, you know, planes, trains, and automobiles situation. Whatever the fuck you got to do just to get there is what you got to do. Ninjas be hitchhiking. Seriously, I know ninjas that were hitchhiking, and straight up they just like get picked up by Madman Pondo or Rude Boy or Kevin Gill driving by, you know, countless stories, or just other juggalos, you know.
I'd heard other stories on like from people I speak to in America who are like, it's like, yeah, we're going to the gatherings. Like, how far are the driving? It's like, oh, it's like 15 hours, but to them it's nothing. I was like, to us, like London from here is about a 4-hour drive, 6-hour drive, and to us that's a mission. So,
well, to be fair,
and say it's nothing.
Yeah, no, to be fair, there's plenty of people who would consider a 4 or 5 hour drive something. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, when you live in the United States of America and you've got, you know, 2 different coasts and a whole lot of desert and mountains in between us, and you know, you've got the northerners and you've got the southerners, and you know, your East Coast, your West Coast, and even the people in the Northwest are different than the South. You know, but we're all connected by fucking highways, you know?
Yeah.
And a road trip, you know, that's, you know, 8 hours, 12 hours. It's fucking rough, but it's doable, you know?
Yeah.
It's doable with you know, with pit stops and, you know, caffeine. And I drove my best friend in a U-Haul from Massachusetts to Florida through the eye of a hurricane, and we were like stuck in the fast lane going 70 miles an hour through a hurricane, and the side mirror fucking broke, so I couldn't leave my lane because I didn't know if there was anyone there or not, so I had to stay in the fast lane the whole way. It was intense. And then when we got to Florida and it's, you know, it started, the sky opened up. It was like an attack of a swarm of locusts, you know, like a biblical, you know, insect swarm, except they weren't locusts, they were dragonflies. And so they were just dragonflies, bam, 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 hitting the windshield. And I'm trying to like clean it, and it's just like smearing dragonfly guts all over the place. And then it wouldn't stop. I mean, I straight up felt like I was in a spaceship and I was just like plowing through aliens, you know, because they look like fucking monsters, like these huge ass dragonflies. Anyways, road trips are fun. A lot of memories are made on a road trip, you know, because it's a weird thing. You can get like cabin fever being stuck in a car for too long, and you're going places, but you're going crazy at the same time. So it's almost like, you know, tripping out in the desert. You come back and you learn something about yourself after a road trip. And then when you got like a fucking dope ass festival and a concert at the end of the line, and when you come home, like, forget about it. You've completed a metamorphosis that, you know, only the most woke spring breakers, you know, can relate to. I'm just kidding. Maybe someone who goes to Burning Man or something. I don't know.
I was gonna say, is this the new woke TJ?
Oh, man, I've definitely been like half woke, half foot in the grave, just like half in a REM sleep, let's say.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, I just need to grab my plug really quickly, TJ, because it's literally it's 2 foot away from me, but my phone's on like 20% battery. So.
All right, you do that. We're gonna take a hiatus here, and we'll be back in just a moment, everybody.
Cool. Thanks, man. I won't be a moment.
If I had any elevator music, I would play it, but instead, I'm going to fill my coffee cup. So, hold tight. There we go. And we're back.
I'm back. And I'm on charge, so I'm good.
Excellent. Yeah, so you're at the clown show, and I don't know who you got. Mushroom Head, Big Hoodoo, Ouija, Light. Did you see all the openers, or was it just about ICP for you?
Well, it was fun enough. We got to Birmingham, and we're sort of walking. We were walking through. We grabbed something to eat really quick, and then we found the venue, and we were outside waiting. And I'm messaging Kevin Gills like, "Oh, how are we doing for tickets?" And that, like, we got told to collect them at the venue, and it's like, "Well, there's no tickets to collect. Just give your name." We're like, "Okay." And then it's Kevin. We've meant to be doored at 6, and I'm getting messages saying, "Oh, it's now doored at 7." Doors at 7:45. No, it was doors at 7:30, and then it came to doors open. The doors open at 7:45, roughly 8 o'clock-ish. But like, so they had.
And so that's when you guys started flipping cars and burning shit, right?
No, not yet. But it was weird in a way because I have friends, my friends who organised the Zug Island coming over the previous year. One of those has like he got roped into being a runner for the day because he had a car and could drive and pick up stuff for them. So I saw him as like, so yeah, like my missus is here in a bit. So I was ringing her. She said, "Yeah, I'm coming down. Like we'll meet you in this pub. Like meet me in this pub here or something. Or like down near the corner." Can I play with madness?
Hell yeah. No, I was holding that up. I was holding this up for Shanzi because he was commenting how my mug matches the banner and behind my shoulder. And, you know.
So, I was going to say, so we're walking down towards this pub and we like, well, I was messaging Kevin, and he came out and gave me. I bought a T-shirt off him that he gave me. He said, "Yeah, we're gonna go and find some food, but like doors are at 7 now." So I was like, "Oh, okay, we got time yet." And we're walking down. And I was like, "I told us we couldn't find this pub anywhere. Like we'd walked past it, we knew we had, but we just couldn't find it." And so we ended up, like, I saw Kevin in the takeaway with like there was Kevin, Light, and Hoodoo in the takeaway.
What is that? I think we have a language barrier. You saw them where?
In a fast food takeaway.
A takeaway.
Yeah.
A takeaway. All right.
Yeah. That's what...
All right. I'm gonna take away a new word from this conversation.
It's sort of like it's normally there's a lot of them are run by like Indian or Turkish families that will do pizzas, kebabs, burgers, things like that. And so they were in getting pizzas and stuff, and I sort of had to go and ask Kevin about tickets again or something. I wasn't sure. And then also I was talking to Light and stuff, and then I didn't even realise Hoodoo was stood behind me at the time because he looks different out of paint with glasses on. And I thought I was like, oh, he must be like one of the road guys or something. And I only realised afterwards, like, that's fucking Hoodoo.
You know,
I blanked.
Blaze used to get that same treatment, you know, like you just stand there and you didn't even know it was him under that pantyhose back in the day.
Yeah. And but I was talking to Kevin because so me and Kevin always had like a good back and forth about music and stuff because he likes his punk and stuff and his hardcore.
Yeah, KG does like his punk and hardcore.
And he was saying to me, he's like, he looked at Light and he's like, this guy's from Blackpool, England. And Light's like, where's Blackpool? I was like, up there on the coast somewhere. And I was like, sort of saying, oh, KG, you need to come for the punk festival every year we have, man. He's like, we've had sick of it all there and stuff. He's like, I keep meaning to, but I'm always busy. But I think he wants to come eventually. But
I think his love for punk and hardcore is more of his roots You know, he used to be in a punk band, I think, and you know, but nowadays he's more of the wrestling aficionado and the podcaster and the psychopathic JCW affiliations and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. But like Kevin, like he pretty much kept me sane throughout this kind of thing, like constantly reassuring me, like your tickets are fine, your VIP is fine. He's like, just turn up and have a good time, and you'll be safe. And so I met my friends. We had a couple of drinks, and they were sort of talking about. They went to a gathering in. They were showing me a video of when they went to a gathering and one guy got his nose broken because of like some skit they were playing with each other or something at the time, involving one of them dressed as a dog and a pie. But that's for them to go into.
It's all fun and games until somebody gets a pie in the face and breaks their nose. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we went down to the venue because it's like I was getting mixed messages from people saying, well, doors are at 6. It's like, well, it's currently 6:30 and they aren't open yet, so I'm going to go for a drink.
Wise decision.
We got there, it was like freezing cold, and I'm just stood talking to people that I knew.
How much was the crowd like? Was it getting to be a big crowd, or was it kind of like, did people already know?
When I was there, when I got there was probably about 100 there.
100.
And then sort of the line was like going as well, like it was getting closer to like about 7:30. Like there was the crowded building, like you saw people walking down and stuff. And,
yeah, that's a beautiful sight. So, what I'm curious about is that you know, ICPs drawing all these juggalos out of the woodwork, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Now, when I was just a kid and I was it was my first clown show, I wouldn't say the lines were around the building because, you know, like I said, the shows weren't selling out yet. It wasn't until like 2001, the Hatchet Risings tour, like, and this is right before they dropped the Wraith, you know, but after they've started doing the Gathering already. So, you know, they're teasing the Wraith now. And what I just mean that, like, you know, for a few years of people going to these shows religiously, or, you know, starting these new traditions of going to clown shows as they're traveling around to new cities. And the Juggalos kind of were, some of them were drawn to each other, and friendships were formed. And this is 20 years ago that this was happening. And in the past 20 years, I've seen friendships develop, fall apart, rekindle, new friendships, you know, like weird trees of 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon type shit. You know what I mean? It's like, and especially when it comes to Dear Joe and Joey, like it's so hard to find a ninja who hasn't heard of it if they've been around long enough, because everybody's on the same internet together. But what I want to know about the UK Juggalos, and they're all together, you know, and they're waiting and they're waiting, and it's like, oh, we got to wait some more. I mean, welcome to the fucking party, man. Like, that is exactly that is so, like, that's exactly what the fuck we do. You know, we wait in lines. You know, we wait for the shows. We go to gatherings and we wait in lines to park. And I mean, it's I know those VIP lines, man. You stand in line for the merch booth all day. You know, you stand in line to get a goddamn beer. But those lines to get into the ICP show are always full of like the most diehard, dedicated, eager, just like can't wait to see ICP. You know, do all these UK Juggalos, are they all aware of each other, or was this like the first time that they'd all kind of like stood in a line together for hours? Did anybody accidentally meet someone, and then were there new friendships formed, is what I want to know. Like, even though it's like 2 decades later, like, did y'all find some fucking family unity when you were fucking brought under one roof?
Thinking so. Like, it was a lot of people. It's like especially for ICP, I know like in America they don't get much in terms of radio and TV play and that. Like they don't over here. But
So
so
you're
going back,
saying you do hear them? You do hear ICP on the radio?
not over here, but like we have Kerrang TV. It's like a music channel, and they back in about 2002, 2003, they were playing the video for Homies, like pretty much on repeat. And I think that's partially where people might have got into them, like through that, because then they'll have picked up the Wraith or something online or downloaded it or whatever. Because it was around that time. I think they did the tour was in 2003, which I just missed. And then of course it was like, here we are 14 years later, and I've just seen them for the first time, and it only took me 14 years to do. You know,
You just missed it. That when they came around the first time, you just missed it. Yeah. See, that just made. So I really I can't hold it in anymore. I just want to know, like, what was it like to see ICP perform?
It was one of the best shows I've ever seen. Like, it was amazing. Like in terms of like the atmosphere and stuff, and because we had obviously like Light and Hoodoo and Ouija building it up, and KG was hosting, and it was sort of all the build up to this moment. As like this is what I've waited 14 years for, sort of thing.
I bet they hyped it up big. You know, I mean, they have a tendency. They, meaning Psychopathic, has a tendency to their showmanship is very prominent in everything they do. You know, you can tell that they're wrestling backgrounds, and so in performances is their bread and butter. So and you know what, man, I haven't even seen Ouija Mac yet. I've seen Light, I've seen Hoodoo, but not Ouija.
See, I haven't heard much of Light beforehand, but then sort of like from speaking to him and stuff, and like the VIP and the takeaway beforehand, it was a proper down to earth guy, really nice, like quite humble. I was like, so I'm all looking forward to you. And he's like quite. He seemed almost taken aback by it. He's like, he's here to see me, sort of thing. It's like, but it was because they only announced like they were bringing Hoodoo and Light and Ouija over like the week before they were due to come or something.
So that's because Light is dude, that dude is young, you know, brand new record deal, like all this attention for the first, traveling like internationally, performing, like that dude's on cloud 9 right now. So, you know, it's extremely humbling to be recognized for your art, and to, you know, I bet for him it's just like surreal. You know, he's living the dream right now. Back in the day, we used to kind of, I think a lot of juggalos were kind of like very spiteful. I won't say hateful, but spiteful of Axe Murder Boys, because they won that contest, right? Yeah. And that is basically like the dream. To be on Psychopathic Records was the dream. If you were inspired and, you know, to do what they do, and so there's plenty of rappers all around, you know, the States, and then there's not that many, but there's a couple international fools that, you know, fuck with the wicked shit. But I don't know, in the UK, I mean, are you going to shows on a regular basis? Do you attend concerts regularly?
Trying to, more so now that I've gotten older, that I've said to myself, I need to go to more gigs and stuff and see more bands.
Yeah, absolutely. Concerts are the shit, man. I'm like addicted to concerts. It's just the best. I'm going to one this Friday.
Oh, nice. Who are you going to see?
It's actually just, well, my favorite local Boston band is called The Upper Crust, and the guitarist and main lead singer has something wrong with his hand, so they've had to cancel shows, and they're on a little break. So unfortunately, not them, but the drummer, he has like a side project, and they have an album coming out. So it's a CD release party for this album that has the drummer in it, same drummer as my favorite band. So I don't even know what they sound like. I'm just going to go check it out and have a beer with him, because he's cool shit. And you know,
But at the end of the day, that's the best way to find new music.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, I know about them because I think it's like his ex. I think him and her used to be in a relationship and they were in a band together and then they broke up, but like they're still in a band together. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They got a professional. I'm just saying, like, it's a different band and he's a working musician. A lot of musicians actually play for multiple bands if they're trying to live off of music, you know, they're not just unless they make it big with one fucking band, but you know, not everybody is that blessed to have that kind of support and shit. And I certainly do not support all artists like I do ICP. Yeah. It's like even Psychopathic doesn't get my blind support. Like I don't buy every CD anymore. And I'm going to admit 20 years being a Juggalo, yes, I, for the majority of this time, have been buying every single Psychopathic CD, every product that they put out. I would buy it. Yeah. I would buy it regardless of knowing if I'm going to like it or not. And if kids are like, well, why the hell would you do that if you don't like it? Like, because pirating music off the internet wasn't an option back in the day. You actually had to buy a cassette tape or a CD, listen to it, and then make a judgment call on whether you liked it or not. Like there was, but you had to commit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like I've done interviews with artists in the past, and sort of they've all said to me, sort of, because they've got the new digital age of downloads and stuff, like, oh, you can buy our CD digitally on iTunes or Google Play or whatever. Hey, but well, buy hard copy, support the artist. It's like, okay, like, which is what I do. If I can buy the hard copy, I will.
See, I didn't have to be told. I don't have to be told to support my favorite artists because for me, that's what you do when you like an artist. You support them, you know. And I don't like everybody, you know. And that's where, because that's the murky territory of the underground music scene, and not even just the underground music scene, but like, I don't know. I was watching this movie called Inside Llewyn Davis, which is about the I guess folk music scene in Greenwich Village, New York, back in the 60s, like pre-Bob Dylan, and you know, before it made it mainstream. Like there's just, you know, singer, guitar player, songwriter, performers crashing on each other's sofas, going to dive bar, carpooling to go from like one city to another, like 12 hours in a car just to play a gig and get a little bit of pocket change, enough to, you know, buy a beer and a hooker. I don't know, you know, and really today we do have a more of a global community with the internet, and certainly people are sharing music digitally now, but the hustle is kind of similar. It's just on a different dimension, you know. It's in this cloud now, you know. Your intellectual property, it's all about how you can harness it and sell it. I mean, hell, even my album is now on Spotify, Google Play, Amazon, and iTunes. Yeah, you can find Rhinoglyphics on Spotify and iTunes. I put it up there just this year for the 5-year anniversary. That's my shameless plug, just because it's relevant, you know.
And I'm gonna buy it to support the artist.
You would be the first one, dude. I promise you. Nobody has bought my album yet. Nobody has bought my album, and I don't blame them, because I put it out for free, and over like 250 people downloaded it and have heard it. And it's already 5 years old. So it's really nothing, you know. I'm working on new shit. And Carnival Spirits has a mixtape. I don't know if you know, but we're dropping a mixtape. It's our second mixtape, and it's fucking awesome. We got this cipher and a whole bunch of names. Like we've been networking, and we're actually waiting on a bunch of flaky rappers that haven't delivered, even though they've been paid for services. My partner Cali Green Too Fresh is you know, he's losing hair over this shit, but it's dope. And you know, I'm getting back in the booth. I've been writing again. I got a new computer coming my way, and I probably need to like ask Santa for some new headphones. You know, I think my microphone is good still, but I'm about to jump back into the rap game again, and And the best part is that I don't care again. You know, I'm not trying to impress anybody. Like, this is for fun. I love doing it, and I'm kind of good at it, I think. Like, again, I don't care if you like it or you don't like it, but you should definitely check out our upcoming mixtape. We have surprises, things that we know you're gonna love, like, you know, just because we love it, and we all have kind of similar tastes.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you're gonna deliver.
Thank you, man. But again, ICP in the UK. Did you or did you not walk out of that show drenched in Faygo?
I did.
You did. So you got an official Faygo shower.
It wasn't Faygo in a sense.
All right. Hold on here. Hold on. No one's actually said this to me, but I think I did see something about this. What the fuck were they throwing? It wasn't Faygo?
No, it was the whole thing of, it's the thing of getting it over to the UK. It's like, well, we can import a load of Faygo for enough, like, and probably put ourselves, cost more than it would the entire tour to put together to bring this over. Or they can go out
what
to,
like, the hell is wrong with Faygo? This was their opportunity to expand into a whole new market. Oh, you guys have no idea what you're missing out on. All right, what did they fucking throw?
It was like a cheap, like, supermarket own brand something. There was no labels on it, but you could tell what it was. Like, it was just cheap cola and stuff. And
it's interesting. It's just so interesting to me. It's like, I'm sorry, you can't throw Faygo on the crowd, so you're gonna have to get this generic cola and throw that on. It's just, I mean, who would have thunk that these situations happen? You know, that's a thing.
It happened when they came over in 2003. Like, someone said to me, like, oh, they were throwing Tesco Diet Cola, which is like, you could probably get it for, at the time, it's like 20p a bottle or something daft. Like, just because it was cheap. So I think they did the same thing this year, but they just like cutting the labels off, so you couldn't tell what it was. But it was a thing of, like, because the venues, from what I heard, the original venues pulled them because one of them had a sort of, it's all Art Deco style antique wood and stuff, and they sort of, well, they're not spraying cheap cola onto our, like, antique pine and stuff. So I'm
gonna chalk this up as a misunderstanding. Obviously, these venue owners don't realize that the money that they make. I mean, I'm just saying that the venues that tolerate the monkey business that ICP brings, they actually, a lot of them will wrap a lot of equipment up, including fixtures on the walls, all of the railings, you know, with plastic. They literally cover everything in plastic, and that way,
this is
all you have to do is mop up the floor and then take the plastic off, and for the most part, your decor is in fine condition.
Yeah, this is what the Asylum did. You walked in, you could just see everything was like covered in plastic wrap, and like there was the bar sort of had a big like sheet going from one, like a big 10-foot sheet is covering the bar, so like nothing hit the bar staff while they were serving. So, but it was in terms of the show, it was like one of the best shows I've been to, and sort of some people saying to me afterwards, like, was it worth the wait? I was like, yeah. Definitely. So,
worth the wait. You've been waiting, what, 15 years?
14 years, yeah, close to 15. But like, even doing the VIP, like I was saying to Hoodoo, I was like, I waited 14 years, Hoodoo. He's like, I know, man. And like at the end of the show, like Jay was like saying, "Oh, it's not gonna be 14 years again, I promise." But then there's rumours they might be back next year, but they reckon it's going to be like 2 years. So
that sounds about right.
Touch wood.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. You know, I think we're all in for some changes next year. I don't know what they are, but you know, Psychopathic ICP. You know, I follow them, and you know, Carnival Spirits is kind of like is kind of like a street team of, digitally, social media wise. Like that's, all we are is just a hub for Juggalos to connect, and, the YouTubers that are on this channel. We all met each other just because we're all YouTubing, and we don't really take ourselves too seriously over here. The community, I mean, in the whole, it does seem like the community gets caught up on some bullshit. I don't know if you experience any of that. I know you obviously see like Fago lovers and Facebook posts, so maybe you are as privy to the bullshit as we are. But does it matter as much over there? Because if you're not getting clown shows on a regular basis, I don't know if it's healthy for you to ingest all of the bullshit, because you need the fresh ass clown shows to counter out that. At least I do. If it was all bullshit and no clown shows, I think I couldn't live with myself. I'd be like, fuck this. I'm going to be a believer. But what's a Taylor Swift fan call themselves? A Swiftie?
Probably a Swiftie, yeah. But like, it's the thing. Like, I think because it just took so long, we just sort of got used to it, and it's sort of, yeah, they might come back, they might not. If they don't, oh well, sort of. But then it's sort of that thing of like, well, you can go over and see them, but it's like then there's sort of that added expense for us, and have to travel over to America for a show or something, or for the gathering, which for us then jumps up in price. It's talking about £2,000 roughly altogether for flights and stuff as well. And
yeah, it's not cheap, and there's definitely a ninja. I don't remember his name because no one was saying their real fucking names, but there was the ninja back in the Cave and Rock gatherings, 2007, 8, 9. He would wear his British flag around his neck like a cape.
Yeah.
And that's how we recognized him every year. And he was the ninja, he was cool shit. And he was like the one guy. He just wanted everyone to know that he traveled a long fucking way to be at this gathering. You know what I mean? So he wore that flag around his back like the whole gathering, and probably just made like a fucking shit ton of friends everywhere because everyone wanted to know the British ninja.
So yeah, but again, it's like a thing like when they brought out the Tempest and they did the Freakly Weekly, which you said along like the ticker on the bottom. It's like, yeah, there's gonna be a Tempest World Tour, including Canada, Europe, and Australia. And they went from the Tempest Worldwide Tour to the Tempest Nationwide Tour.
Yeah.
Okay, there's still some hope there. Like they could do another album, and they might eventually hit the UK. And then it was that thing of, oh, we're going to do a show in Australia. It's like, but surely we're closer, like by proximity, like.
Yeah, I don't think the distance necessarily is the determining factor. It's more just the venues and the promoters and the deal makers, not the actual like distance.
Yeah, it was always things popping up like you'd get like new people new into it, and they'd sort of be like, I remember I was like they're like 18, 19. I sort of remember being this way, like how they were or whatever at the time when I was that age of like, oh yeah, they should be coming over soon, like, but everyone's like, you just missed them, like they're just here on tour. Oh, when they're coming back, we don't know. Could be a year, could be 2 years, could be 14 years. And so it's weird. Like it's.
I don't want to presume to know if they were doing like the same set, as they were doing for us, because we got the Malenko show, and then before that, you've got not that many. Like I saw the gathering in 2016, so the 17th annual. That was the year they did Wizard of the Hood with Twisted. That was the last time that Dark Lotus performed because they fucking canceled the Juggalo Day Dark Lotus Tales from the Lotus Pod performance, and I wasn't able to go to that. So the show itself, it wasn't a Great Malenko show, right? It was all different songs from different cards, and
they were playing stuff from Malenko onwards, really. It wasn't just a full Malenko show. They did like Assassins, Cherry Pie,
Yeah, so they're giving you the works. They're giving you the hits, is what they're doing. There's a certain songs that just play over well live. It sounds. Yeah. I want to know what other songs they played for you.
Let me think.
Do you remember what they closed with? What was the last song?
They did Fago Armageddon. They basically said to us like, right, we did VIP. We met them and stuff. And as we're coming out, the guy, like the runner for them, was like, right, when you hear Down with the Clown start, it's like, you'll know what Down with the Clown sounds like. I was like, I wouldn't be stood here if I didn't.
Dumbass.
And he was like, right, well, once you hear it start, he's like, go to the merch booth, meet the other runner there. It's like, meet this guy. He's going to bring you through the backstage area. And then once Pass Me By comes on for the last song, you're going to go up on stage and do Fago Armageddon. So nice. It was like a surreal moment doing that. Like for Pass Me By as well, because like Malenko's my favourite album and stuff, and there's sentiment.
Oh, I'm so glad. Out of all the show closers, Pass Me By is my favorite. I mean, it probably is because my first clown shows, that's what it was, and it's some powerful shit right there. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you were able to do VIP, and I'm glad you were able to see the Wiki Clowns after wanting to for 14 years. Fuck.
It was worth it, because like I had my friends who were there, and they're like, one of them was hugging me afterwards, like, I'm so glad I got to be here for your first ICP show.
Right? It gets a little like you're
emotional.
So, yeah, like you just woke up on the beach of a desert island. You're fucking glad to be alive and not alone, and and it's a little euphoric. It's kind of amazing. We call that the dark carnival high. I mean, it really is. Like I said in Dear Joe and Joey, it's like ecstasy. Yeah. And this was my description of it after only being a juggalo for I want to say 3-4 years. So it's not about how long you've been down. It's really about how much you take it to heart. There's a lot of bullshit out there that you can take to heart. Some of the music that people latch onto, I just roll my eyes. I don't see what they see in it. And I'm sure that there is more than enough people in the world that are rolling their eyes at Juggalos. I don't know what you guys see in it. Like, seriously, what the fuck? And that's when I say, well, just listen to Dear Joe and Joey, because that's my explanation of my reasons. Can't speak for everybody. Everybody is different. But I do appreciate you giving us a little insight on the mind of a UK juggalo.
It's cool. There's more to go into. Like, there's stuff like you're saying before about going back to making friends. Like, I've made friends over the years. We've had our own mini gatherings and stuff around the UK.
Oh, well, that's what I'm talking about. Hell yeah. All right. So you guys already knew each other. The community existed.
There is a community, but then there's more. There's like Juggalos and stuff that were there for the 2003 show. Then sort of, I've seen them live now. And then as they got older, they sort of, well, I'm not as into them anymore because they've moved on, taste-wise or family. But then sort of, they're touring again. Like, I'll go and see them, and sort of it's brought them back in, and they're on Facebook and groups going, so who was it I was talking to last night at this show or something? Like, I want to meet them again, and all that sort of thing. So
right, and they show up wearing their Bruno Mars t-shirts, and they're like, "What's up, guys?"
To be fair, I didn't see a Bruno Mars t-shirt the entire show, so.
Well, I just wonder, like, what is a juggalo who kind of like falls away from the scene, 15 years ago? What does that juggalo go on to start listening to? I'm
not sure, really.
I mean, it really, I guess it depends on what it is they liked about ICP in the first place. And I think for me, I was very much a metalhead as a teenager, and the whole rap rock thing was not at all played out in '98 or 96 rather, with the chicken hunt and slaughterhouse mix. My best friend Tommy, kind of like how I say in Dear Joe and Joey, like he discovered ICP because he was watching the music video on MTV, and You know, it was playing on MTV, and but he turned on the TV halfway through it, so he didn't know who he was watching. Right, so he's like, he's watching these crazy painted up like clowns, dreadlocks. There's a fat one, a skinny one. There's a heavy guitar, and it's kind of hype. He was like, I think it's Biohazard. He's like, yeah, I think it's Biohazard. You know, and then the video comes to an end, and finally it says who it is in the corner, and he's like, oh, Insane Clown Posse, who the fuck is that? He immediately went out and purchased the Chicken Hunt and Slaughterhouse Mix maxi single, the EP, that had Didn't Mean to Kill Him and the song Fabulous, and you know, Chicken Hunt and cut like maybe an instrumental version, and you know, the acapella, whatever. You have like 6 songs on this little CD. And that was his introduction to ICP. And when he heard the song, I Didn't Mean to Kill Him, that's when he fell in love with ICP and bought all the albums he could. Carnival of Carnage, Beverly Kills, you know, Ringmaster, Terror Wheel, and the Riddle Box. You know, I don't think Tunnel of Love was out yet. So, but by the time he introduced me to the music, I had picked up Riddle Box, and it wasn't until Great Malenko came out that we picked that up, and we saw them live, and that is when the spark was lit. And I went back and I bought all the previous music and just dove in head first, and I haven't even come back up for air since, honestly.
There was a thing sort of going to Dear Joe and Joey, and it's like in your song where you're saying like, at the end of the show ends up on the stage,
right?
And it was like that for us doing VIP. I sort of stood there. I was like, this is what like BstMstR meant.
Yeah, well, sort of, kind of. I mean, we ended up on the stage the old-fashioned way by crawling over the barricade, you know. And I tell you this, no lie, especially at my first couple of gatherings, 2001, 2002, I had long hair in 2001. Okay, I was in college. I'm at the gathering, and I fucking worked my way up to the front for ICP, and I'm in the fucking front where I want to be. I'm like, I'm in fucking Peoria, Illinois. We drove 7 hours to be here, and I'm in the front with my long hair, and Juggalos just crawled over me and was ripping my hair out, and it was like this ocean flowing over me, and I was just like, get off me. Like, what the fuck? I swear it's because I'm tall. And so everyone's like, oh, you're tall. Let me get up on you. And then someone's like, oh, yeah, that's the way to go. And then another person would do it. And I'm like, why me, guys? And so I was like, all right, you know what? Fuck all of you. I'm going on stage. So I crawled up and went up on stage. And then a minute later, all of a sudden the lights flickered on. The stage was full of Juggalos. Like shoulder to shoulder, you know what I mean? And they tore the stage apart, and somebody fucked it up, and there was an electrical circuit broken, and you know, they had to stop the show early. They had to stop the show after like 3 songs, and then the electricity went out. Alex Abyss came out and was like trying to talk on the microphone, say, "That's it, show's over. We have no power. Go home." You know, it was like a very like. It was supposed to be the big finale, and we only got 3 songs into it, and then it's over. Very anticlimactic. That's real talk. That happened in 2001, and so the next year, I
was gonna say, was it like Bart and Milhouse and Simpsons with Spinal Tap? It's like they're only on for 20 minutes.
It was a bummer because the Juggalos got too excited. And they kind of ruined a good thing by rushing the stage too soon. I think, rushing the stage on the last song was kind of like an honored tradition and almost like an unofficial expected thing. ICP was never going to stop the show, but they probably did like have to duck out and leave because the show got, and I think they were used to it, but not on the intro, not in the beginning of their set, They didn't have the security to stop the ninjas who were just being eager beavers. So in 2002, I'm sorry, I always confuse them. 2001 was in Toledo, Ohio. Okay, that's where this happened. The next year was Peoria, Illinois. The way that they prevented that and if your copy of the Wraith has the live footage from the gathering, which it's either that or it's the seminar, it's one of the two, right? Your bonus disc.
Yeah.
Okay.
Concert.
Nice. So in that concert, I'm in the crowd there. Okay, I'm there, and when you're watching that show, watch who they got with them. They have Sabu up there with a knife, and he's stabbing Fago bottles and throwing them in. But he doesn't need that knife. He's actually up there to stop Juggalos from rushing the stage and ending the show too soon. He's an intimidation factor because it was a problem in 2001, and it fucked up the show for everybody. You know, and I admit that I went up on stage. I was on the stage along with the culprits, but I didn't destroy anything. And I swear to God, I only did it because I was getting my hair ripped out. And it was like I was this stepping stool. So I was like, fuck you guys. I'm going to go up on stage. At least I won't be a ladder, you know, for everyone else that thinks that they can just crawl over me. Like, fuck out of here with that.
So you're giving me new insight into that show, which I'm not going to watch it the same again. But even like the other day, I was sort of there thinking about it more.
Oh, he's just looking. Sabu's just looking. He's like, don't even think about it. He's like, see this knife? That could be your fucking torso.
It was. I was thinking about the other day. It's like, why does he need and I was like, I know he's Sabu in that, and that's what he does. But like, why does he need a knife on stage? And it's never sort of never 2 and 2 never made 4.
It was a genius move. It was really just a subtle like, no. Slow your roll. Don't rush the stage. I don't even think they made an announcement, you know. And I can't lie. I was worried. I'm like, oh, please don't let the same thing happen as last year. Fuck. I want to see, you know. So, yeah, that shit went down. Good times, man. I mean, I definitely feel spoiled, and I don't mean to be greedy. I hope you get another clown show very soon. I really do. I hope ICP gets to tour internationally every year. You know, that would be great.
I'm hoping I can eventually make it over at some point. Bring up something.
That would be great, man. If you ever want a time of visit, if there's a clown show in Worcester that you would like to attend, you're welcome to come over here and crash. You know what I mean? And we'll go to a clown show. I'll take you out to. I mean, it's a bit of a drive. It's like an hour and a half, you know. And I bitch about that every time. I'm like, what the fuck? No,
no, that's cool.
I used to live really close to. I used to live like 15 minutes away for like 7 years. Yeah. It was pretty sweet when I was that close. But a lot of people just get like hotels right in the area. And even though it's like an hour and a half away, I don't want to drive an hour and a half after the show. So lately we've been getting a hotel room, and a whole bunch of us have been chipping in and just crashing on the floor and partying in the parking lot. And, you know, it's good times. It really is. It's like little mini gatherings every time a show comes around, because the Juggalos make it that way.
That sounds good.
Yep.
I do need to definitely say though, it's like getting like any sort of diet soda in the eyes fucking hurts like a bitch.
Yeah. See, it's not all fun and games. And not only that, but you could get socked with a full 2 liter, and you know
did.
Nice. Well, congratulations. That's like a badge of honor right there, you know?
Well, strangely, it flew to, like they said to us in the VIP, whatever, they're like, whatever you do, don't throw full bottles off stage. Like, empty them a bit first and then throw them off. And like, yeah.
Okay. Because they know if they don't tell you that, you know, a dozen fucking rockets are all coming out into the crowd at the same time. It's like, and then you got like lawsuits like coming in droves. Like,
it was I think it was like the third bottle they threw out for the show I was at, and it hit me right in the head, like forehead, just bang. And it must have been full, but I'm sure I felt it sort of spray out because I grabbed hold of it. I was there like that, and it sort of dropped into my arms. I was like, okay, I've got a 3-quarter bottle, 2-liter bottle of Coke or something here. And so I sort of looked at my brother next to me, he was hiding behind me, so I just went fucking poured it over his head. I said to him, I was like, there's your ritual. And he's sort of there, he was like loving it after that, and he sort of stopped hiding behind me.
Yeah. Hey, look at that. I had an alarm set. to remind myself. It wasn't to remind myself to wrap up this hangout, but it is going to, you know, it signifies that this is coming to an end because I got somewhere to be tonight. I do want to ask you, can you show us some of your spoils from the show? You have a couple of ognographs, and I thought it'd be cool if you did a little show and tell.
Yeah, sure. I'll grab them now. I need to grab my lanyard. I got a lanyard as well. You can give me 1 sec.
Yeah, no doubt. In fact, I had told him that I was going to show off my first ICP autographs, so I pulled them out, and I'll tell the story too. Back in '99, and it was the Jekyll Brothers Psychopathic Asylum in-store tour. They had Twisted with them, and this was when the Chaos comic books came out. The very first edition of Chaos Comics, ICP Comics, before the Pendulum series, the very first issue was called The Ups and Downs of the Wiki Clowns. And on the back of the comic book, you could cut off the strip, mail it in with your address and like $2 shipping, and they were going to send you an alternate cover of that comic book. So when that comic book came out, I mailed out for the special edition cover immediately, and it showed up in the mail the exact same day that ICP came to Massachusetts for the in-store, and I showed this to Violent J and Shaggy, and they had never seen it before. They were like, oh my God. They're like, Jay thanked me for showing him this. Anyways, you got Jay's autograph here, Shaggy's here, and, you know, I've never coveted an ICP autograph ever since. It's like, nah, I got it. This is mine, and that's my story. And, you know, I've got a couple others, but, you know, just because random in-stores that I've been to. But I've never had to hound dog them for an autograph. Didn't even care that they were signing my banner at the Great Malenko VIP. I was more interested in talking to them. And, you know, I found out that Jay has actually watched my Juggalo Gives college speech on the Dark Carnival video. He actually watched that shit 3 months ago, and he told me. So that was pretty much like bucket list right there. But we didn't have enough time to talk about Dear Joe and Joey. So I'm thinking about doing VIP on the Jekyll Brothers 20th anniversary tour in 2 years. Because honestly, I don't think I'm going to make it to next year's gathering. That's just me predicting that I'm probably not going to financially be able to do it. And I'm okay with it. I mean, I've been to a grip. I don't have the fear of missing out like I used to. Used to fucking torture, you know, I know how fresh it is. And trust me, you go to your first gathering, it'll ruin you. Because then you're going to wish you were at all the others, and you're going to have that crippling feeling of, oh, nothing is as fresh as the gathering. My life sucks. I want to die.
To be fair, I'll go to one as long as you're there, TJ. So
all right, well, we'll rendezvous. We'll rendezvous. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be a gathering, in my opinion. But gatherings are the dopest thing that you could possibly come to the United States for. But maybe a Juggalo day. You know, I've never been to a Hallowicked, so if I ever go to Detroit for a Hallowicked, you know, I'll let you know, because if you want to come out for it, that would be a place to be. You know what I mean? I'd be just as much out of my element as you are. You know, be like, "What's up? I'm from Massachusetts. I'm in Detroit. Don't kill me." You know?
Yeah, but then maybe like I'm from England. Don't kill me. Take my
Nah, you're dead meat, bro. I'm hiding behind you. I got a UK shield when I'm in Detroit. Yeah, so let's see those ognographs, bro. What you got? What'd you show them?
I'll show you the lanyard quickly. I got the VIP lanyard.
Nice.
So it's the same on the other side. And then I got down here, I got my Great Malenko autographed. I don't know how you can.
Oh yeah. Now it looks like only Shaggy signed that one.
It does, but Jay signed it as well. I don't know if it'll come out well on the camera.
Oh, Shaggy, he signed it with black. All right.
Shaggy saw it and said, he's like, "Oh, I'll get my silver pen for this one." I was like, "Yeah, sweet." And I was chatting to him, and then like Jay looked at it, he's like, "Oh, Green Malenko, cool," and it's signed in black. And even sort of Shaggy looked at him. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, well, I didn't want to say anything to him. Like, could you not go over it in silver? Like, I didn't want to be a dick about it or anything.
True story. When Twisted's Mirror Mirror came out, they did a in-store. So they were selling the CD and they were signing them, and it was in this little record store in a town in Massachusetts. And so I went to it. ICP was there, and Violent J actually left in an ambulance. Like, he had something wrong with him, and this was back in 2002. So whatever, I don't know, I forget what actually was wrong with him, but anyways, he left. So I ended up not even seeing Jay because it was right before I got to the booth. Anyway, point of the story is that they were signing Mirror Mirror CD covers with black markers. Okay, I showed up with a silver pen. Okay, and I said, "Here, use this," and then they used it, and I said, "Keep it." And everybody after me in line got that fucking silver pen autograph. You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. Yeah, true story. But
man. So yeah, I'll show you as well. So I got my Wraith signed.
Dope.
So both the sort of fucking.
They signed like, how many fucking CDs they signed? You got like 20 autographs, bro.
I got like, that's just the free. Because I didn't realize in the VIP there was like gonna be Hoodoo and Light there and stuff, and I was like, I said to Hoodoo, "It's like, if you knew you were here, I'd have bought my Passage CD, not Passage, Asylum CD even. Sorry, like I would have bought that." He's like, "Oh, it's cool, man. Don't worry about it." It's like, "Next time." It's like, "Yeah, you do it next time." Then he's like, "I'll be here."
He's like, I know you ain't got my album.
I actually do. It's downstairs.
I felt like when I just saw them recently, they had R.A. the Rugged Man with them. And I've already got R.A. the Rugged Man's album. And R.A. is good friends with someone I know who's from New York. And so he had him on tour and whatever, working his more. Anyways, long story short, I'm saying that a lot today because I don't want to take up a lot of time. I still want to tell you this. I bought my buddy's hoodie, and I bought this chick was selling her CD as well with R.A. because he brought her up on stage with him, Her name's Psalm 1. So I bought her CD. It's because R.A. turned me on to her. They did a song together. They have a music video that I like the song. I think she's good. She's good. And so I saw her perform a little bit. I thought she was good. So I go and I buy her CD, and I'm buying my buddy's hoodie. And R.A. was like, this is his, right? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm buying her CD. And he was like, all right. He just seemed a little peeved that I wasn't buying his stuff. I was buying all these other people's stuff from his booth. But dude, I already got your album. So what do you want from me? I'm not buying another copy just to impress you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, I was looking, like, when Mushroom Head were there, I was like looking, when there was like changeover between sets, I was looking at the Mushroom Head stall, like their stuff. And the Mushroom Head merch guy was like, I was chatting to him briefly, and he saw my Jason New jersey. He's like, "I want that jersey." He's like, "Sorry?" And he said, "Oh, I nearly bought over all my stuff. I would have traded you for it." He's like, it's like load of crew stuff. I could like traded you and stuff for it. But he's like, I had it all packed up and ready, and then something in my head just went, "No, leave it." So he's like, "I'm devastated I didn't bring it over," but he was like really cool to talk to.
Hell yeah.
So,
back in 2009, I did a performance because I did a little bit of rapping for a couple of years, and performing, and we did this festival. Me and my crew, we had the joint set where it was all of us sharing a slot, so we all kind of did songs we were on together, and we opened up for Mushroom Head. Yeah, it was fun. It was called Rock the Ink. And actually, I ended up getting this Dark Lotus tattoo right after the performance and right before Mushroom Head set, because it was like a tattoo convention with artwork and music. And yeah, it was a good time.
That's cool, man.
I think that was the first time I ever saw BstMstR printed in like a local newspaper as a part of that promotion. Cool. I can't lie. I got that that promotional, you know, flyer like framed, you know, on the wall, because it's a good memory, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Got a Dark Lotus tattoo, got to perform at a festival, opening for Mushroom Head. You know, it wasn't that big a deal, but it was a fun time. And on that note, I would definitely love to chop it up with you again in the future. You know, if you want to come back, if we got something else that we can talk about, that would be dope. But I'm going to go catch Justice League tonight. I'm going to meet up with some homies and see a movie. So what time is it over there? What time is it?
Let's have a look. 10:40 p.m.
Woof, you're in the future, my friend. It's only 5:40 over here. So
yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Hey, thanks for joining me. This is Coxy the Legend, and I'm going to put a link to your podcast in the description of the video. If you guys don't know, this guy is podcasting, and the name of it is
The Lost Art of Podcasting.
The Lost Art of Podcasting. You make it sound like it's like this, I don't know, some sort of like kung fu, this martial art, you know, this this art form that so many people try, but they fuck it up. And you're going to show us how to do it.
It is that in a sense. You've hit the nail on the head there, because I've sort of trying to figure out how to describe it to people before, and I know it's just like it's just listen to it and almost say it's like a kung fu. People try and fail, so I'm going to use that in future. So.
Well, you know, the first song on my album is called Graffiti and Kung Fu, and I call it that because I used to take kung fu. Okay, I actually am not a graffiti artist, but it was a metaphor. Okay, graffiti is truly kind of in its origins. It's kind of like hip hop. You know, it's an expression of art, and kung fu technically is hard work. And that's what they told me in my kung fu class. Like, that's the definition of kung fu. It's hard work. So I wanted to combine hip hop and hard work, but I'm also a graphic designer. So I was like, graffiti is perfect because I'm making rap music. And so, and then the whole song is so abstract, it doesn't even make sense. So, but I'm done plugging my music, and I thoroughly enjoyed talking to a Juggalo from the UK. So big ups to you for giving us your time. Everybody out there, check out The Lost Art of Podcasting. And yeah, Coxy, thanks for joining, man.
Well, thank you for having me on, TJ. It's a pleasure to finally actually talk to you after hearing.
Yeah, you know, we have never actually spoken. Yeah, this is cool shit. We'll definitely get you back on here sometime in early 2018. How about that?
Definitely, yeah. Sound a plan.
Sounds good. All right, man. And everybody else watching, you know, you guys are the shit. Check out CarnivalSpirits.com, and always remember to fuck the fuck off, motherfuckers. Until next time. Oh, until Monday when we do the drawing for the giveaway in the next giveaway. All right, peace the fuck out.